And yeah, an introduction to everybody. VU2TS, old man Ganesh, a native of Bangalore, and his hunt for ham radio started in 1959, and around 1965 he got his ticket, and ever
Uh,
since then he's very,
Ram,
very. Yep.
break 1 second, please. And since you're going online also on YouTube, maybe this introduction also can go on YouTube as well. So that's I just wanted to suggest. So it's
Yeah.
your call there, please. Yeah.
It's
QSL.
already live on YouTube.
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry about that.
Thank
I
you,
didn't.
Bopana. Don't bother, no problem. And talking of Ganesh, we all fondly call him Ganesh Mama, and a very old timer. And he used to live in Vayalikaval those days. A very keen CW operator. And every week, yeah, every Sunday, we used to have the bulletin board addressed by Ganesh, and it used to be on the air. In fact, when I told Ganesh, let's have a virtual meet, he said, come on, let's have a ham radio meet because we'll all be on the band. But anyway, I was able to request because at this part of the time we may not be able to access each other, and requested him to agree to come on the WhatsApp or the electronic media to conduct today's meeting. In view of the festivals around the corner, we were to cancel it, and one of the members suggested we go using the virtual media, and this will save a lot of efforts. The family will feel happy, and we'll also feel happy being with the family. So, with this small introduction, I would request Ganesh to take up and continue. Viro Tango and request to everybody. Well, I see most of y'all muted your video, close your video, and muted yourself also. That will give good bandwidth for Ganesh to address all of us. VU2TS, all yours. Please go ahead, Ganesh.
Okay, Ram. First of all, give me a report, Ram. You copy me, okay?
Roger, 5-9, beautiful copy, no problem.
Okay. If Monica tried the video and it was okay, so I thought let us keep it. In case I have a problem with my bandwidth, I'll shut off the video and have the audio alone, okay?
Can you
very good morning.
can you
Yeah, very good morning.
adjust your camera so that we can see you better? We can see your chest.
It's
That's
okay.
better. Now you
Okay.
look good. Yeah, good. All
Okay.
yours.
Okay, thank you, Ram. Thank you for the introduction. And a very good morning to all the members on frequency, I was about to say, on the screen. Okay. And very good morning to all of you. And I'm so happy to be with you all from the ARSI, my old club. Like Ram said, I got my license in 1965, and ever since I've been active, and I was member and the secretary of the BRC club, the president of the BRC club for quite a long time, and we really enjoyed all that. So today what I'm going to talk mostly is about how it was then, those days. It's quite a long time ago, you see, more than 50 years ago. So many of you may not have been born at that time. So it might be of interest to you to listen to what it was in the olden days, ham radio especially, and the conditions in India and stuff like that. So there you are. I'm so happy to see that you are about 20 or so members on the screen. And yeah, we start from the BRC's beginning, We had only about 20 odd members. Even a couple of years after we started, just had about 20 odd members. I don't remember the exact number. We never had anything formally, those days like registration and, keeping a register of the members and fees and nothing of that sort. It was totally an informal club. And we just shared the expenses and carried on, So there you are. Small number, probably as many members as we are now on this meet, HI. And we used to meet once a month. And it will be usually in the president's house or the secretary's house, in my house. And old man Girimaji, that is Poru's father. We used to golf. X-Ray was the president for a long time. And we used to meet in his house, a lot of hospitality there. And often we used to meet in my house as well, in Vayalikaval. First I was in Malleshwaram. We never had any meetings there, but that was slightly before the club started, I think. And by the time the club started, I had moved to Vayalikaval, and we used to meet in Vayalikaval. Have a small meeting, have a cup of tea, used to be sort of get together, exchange ideas of what happened and all that. Not much of DX those days in the beginning. Used to be only 40-meter QSOs local. That is mainly because there were no commercial rigs available. All of us, each one of us had only a home brew rig running 10 watts and 50 watts and whatever, There were only two famous tubes those days. Three, I can say. Okay. There was a tube called there was a tube with the number 6146 that was very popular, and that was the best also among the lot. And then there was a tube by the number 1645, and then there was 807. These are all the tube numbers I remember so well. So using any one of these tubes, you could get about 15-20 watts. And if you run it for the maximum power, it doesn't go beyond about 50 watts or so. So many of the experts had two of these tubes running there for 80 or 100 watts, And just giving an idea how it was. So all the rigs were homebrew, and we were all mostly on CW. Almost all of us were on CW. So I can easily say all the old timers from that age, all experts on CW now. For example, I can give you VU2RQ, Oldman Jam, V2 Golf X-ray was on CW, V2 WP, and who else I can remember? V2 Sierra Foxtrot, V2 Delta X-ray, all these call signs. They were all on CW those days. Of course, many of them were quite popular on SSB as well. Unlike me, I took only CW and not SSB anymore. So that's the story as far as the operation was concerned. It used to be mostly on 40 meters, our operations, and only about say 70s, around early 70s. We slowly moved on to 14 megahertz using an antenna on 14 and getting on the DX bands and so forth. But DX on 40 meter itself was very good. The DX on 40 meter itself was extremely good. The conditions were so good, it's a dream to think of it now. You can imagine with my dipole and some 50 watts on 40 meters, I used to work W stations left and right, like we are working local stations now. I wish I could show you some of my logs and all that. Fantastic logs, and they became great pals and all that. And the interesting thing about olden days was we used to actually converse with each other. Not like today, 59, 73. We don't say that those days. We get a contact on the band. We stick there on the band for some time and talk to him. And he used to ask us many questions about India, and we used to ask us about ourselves, the other hobbies that we have, and geography of the country, whatever. Anyway, we used to talk quite a bit, and then say 73. Okay, at last, let you go. He says, I will let you go. I'll say 73 to you now. That was the kind of conversation we had. Unless, of course, it was the D expedition or a rare station which came on the band. Then, of course, there was no chance for a long conversation. So we just contact him, give him a report and say 73 and look for a QSL card from him to prove the contact. You know what I mean. But ordinarily, when I go on the DX band, put out a CQ call, somebody calls me, it was sure that the QSO will last about 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And nowadays, in seconds, so that makes a big difference. I'm sure some of you would be surprised to know that we should talk so long. Sometimes half an hour QSO is very common. Exchange so much information that one cannot imagine. I can go on all day telling you about the different QSOs that I had and long conversations I had. It takes a long time to relate all that to you, but you get an idea when I tell you that we should tell stories on the band. So that was the condition those days. And I've been talking continuously, so I'll pass it back to a moderator in case there's any question from anybody, so I can take some rest on my latitude. Go ahead, Ram, V2 GRN.
QSL. Yeah, lot of less Joe Faithful and the old timers are all there, and a lot of things there. Any questions, anybody? You can even type out in the Jitsi or in the YouTube. You can type out your queries, and put it across. And apart from Ganesh's general ham radio hobby, he's a very keen bird watcher. And on his QRZ page at the bottom, you'll find a link. You go into that link and you can see all his collections of the snakes, the birds, and beautiful winged visitors to his place, BR Hills, not far away from Bangalore. And so there are a lot of interesting. Anybody, anything? Please come out. Please come in. Okay, so I think we can continue. Madhu, all okay, Madhu?
Yeah, all okay. And currently we have VU2 Romeo uniform Mike, VU2 Mike Golf Sierra, VU2 Yankee uniform Hotel Singh from I think Haryana, VU3 Juliet X-ray Kilo Raghavendra, VU2 Alpha Bravo uniform, and VU2 CHR also on YouTube. Ram and Ganesh will stand by.
Oh, QSL, Alpha Bravo. Welcome, welcome to the gang, the group there. Manorita, very good morning. And CHR Murthy, all welcome. So put it
Alpha
back
Bravo
to,
uniform, Alpha Bravo uniform. Abhay.
oh, Abhay, okay. Go ahead,
Ram,
Das.
I just want to say a big hello to Ganesh.
Hi,
Go ahead,
Abhay.
Ganesh.
Good to hear you.
Hi, Ganesh.
And
So nice to be seeing you after such a
Good
long
to hear
time.
you. Yeah.
okay,
That was Delta Alpha Sierra Ganesh.
Oh, Delta Alpha Sierra Dash. Okay. How are you, Dash?
Yeah. Very nice seeing you.
I was just talking
is
about the BRT olden days, so you're there also. Um,
QSL. Hari Rao is very much there, the old gang. And then Nat is
okay.
not to be
Hari is
seen.
there.
And okay, yeah, put it back to you, Ganesh. Please continue.
Okay. I'm glad to know that Hari is there. I was just wondering who else was there from the old BRC. Yeah. Hari was one of them. So I would like to pass it on to Hari for a few words from him about the BRC and the olden days, whatever. Go ahead, Hari.
Golf
Hari
Zulu,
Rao.
please go ahead. Hari Rao, please come in. Ganesh, old timer. Ganesh, yeah, Hari Rao has messaged. Old man of the 60s is still around. Hari Rao, please take it up. Oh, I don't know. Go unable to unable to unmute. Okay, how can you do that? I think we can't do that for you. Fiddle around some buttons, Hari.
Let me do that. VU2GZ. I'm trying to find out. What happened?
No, we can't unmute
Guru,
him.
Guru, there's
Yeah.
one option of unmute all and
Yeah, correct. I'm trying to. My browser is crashing. Just give me a second.
I think we'll put it to Hari once again a little later, Ganesh. You can continue, I believe, Ganesh. We'll put it to Hari a little later again.
I think he has to unmute himself. We
Yeah,
can't
he's
do
trying to. He's not able to locate the button on his thing.
that. If he just point the mouse towards the gallery, you should get a pop-up to unmute.
Okay, Hari, on your email, on your screen, you'll be able to see a microphone at the bottom, which has got a slash on it. If you click it, you'll be unmuted, Hari. You can try your luck there. I think we'll let Ganesh continue, and we'll invite Hari once again. Go ahead, Ganesh.
Ganesh, you're muted.
Ganesh, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Ganesh.
I'll try.
There you are.
Uh, Is it okay now?
Roger.
Okay. But I'm getting myself. I'm getting an echo. No? Ram, what do you do about that?
You're fine, Ganesh. Go ahead.
No, you're fine to all of us.
Okay, but I'm getting an echo on my own
On you.
equipment.
Okay. Yeah, right. Mm,
Okay.
Ganesh, that echo may be because you have two mics or your YouTube is not silent or whatever. I don't know.
he hasn't enabled his YouTube. He's only on Jitsi. Ganesh, you're again muted.
Wait.
There you went off and you came back again. No, no. You're still muted. You're muted, Ganesh. You're still muted. In the left-hand corner, you'll have the microphone. There you are.
I did that.
Now you're there.
Yeah, automatically it's going to mute. I don't know how.
No, now you're there. Now you're there. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, wow.
Roger.
Okay. Like I'm operating the Oscar satellite. Oscar is to be so far away, like about 36,000 kilometers. When I send something, after half a second, I get it back on my own receiver. So right now, when I'm talking, I'm also putting my voice on my receiver. Okay, so then we started activities. I should tell you about the activities. The first big activity we had for the BRC was motor rally. Okay, I was interested in motorsports and all that. So the president of the local motorsports club contacted me and found out if we can help them in any way. So we said okay, and we wrote to WPC. First they refused. To give us the license. Then we had to send them a lot of justification. Now, like it's not a commercial organization. We're not earning money on that, and it's purely a sport. And there is no other way they can have communications. Especially those days, we never even had cell phones, or anything like that. Repeater, nothing was there. So after all this, they were convinced, and they said, "Okay, you can go ahead." So that was the first big activity that we had. I think the first one was 1976, I think, in Motor Rally. We took part, all homebrew equipment, mind you. And one interesting thing was, of all the members of the BRC those days, Girimaji was president, was the only one having a four-wheeler, a car. None of us had a car those days, So all the equipment used to be dumped in Girimaji's car, and the rest of it, motorcycles, scooters, whatever. So we used to go to different places. So that's how we organized the rallies. Can you imagine organizing the rally with so much commitment? And so let me pass it back to GRM. Let's see what I have to say. Over.
Roger. QSL Ganesh. Very interesting. And Hari, will you be able to speak? Hari, we saw you well. Can you unmute yourself and address yourself about the good old days, Hari? VU2GZ, go ahead, please.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Roger, we can also hear you echoing. Keep your hand around the microphone and speak.
Yeah,
so that the
I think
speaker
because
doesn't
another
pick up
speaker
everything.
was on. Can you hear me?
Roger, beautiful audio. 5-9, go ahead.
How do you hear me?
Very nice, good copy. 59, no feedback.
Okay, fine. Good morning to all of you, and nice to see you, Ganesh, after a very long time. Yeah, I still remember the good old days. I think I got my ticket in 1965. I think 3 years after you did, and I think I definitely recall all the help I got from you in my initial stages. So I used to visit your office and to see your shack and at your home in Vayalikawal, along with Pai and the Saif, I used to roam about a lot, visiting all different shacks, in 1960s. So those thoughts are still very fresh in my mind. Although it's more than about, I think we are nearing 60 years now. 56, about 56 years since 1968. And I am sure you remember some of your visits to my QTH. You used to come over on your Java motorbike, those days are still very fresh in my mind. And you remember we had gone out a couple of places. I don't know whether you still remember. We had gone to this Davangere, to Ooty, and and one nice jamboree we had in Sandur. We had a scout jamboree in Sandur. That was in 1975. I think in Girmaji's car we took all. In fact, I had brought my equipment also, my old HRO and all those things. We had gone to. We set up a station in Sandur, and I think it was that time the youth minister, that Gundurao, I think he even visited our shack. He was sitting there for some time, and as Murphy's Law would have it, no station came up. Then the guy got, he said, okay, we'll meet sometime, and he went away. But I think I had a photograph of his in that shack. I don't, I think that photograph you only took that. I still, I don't know, I don't think I have that photo, but I definitely have one photograph which I will post on the uh, WhatsApp group. That was when we had a meeting. I think we had one or two meetings in my QTH, and you are the one who took some photographs there. And that's why in that a lot of hams are there, but you are not there because you took the photos. I think if I have that photos, I think today I will just dig it out and I'll try to post it on the BRC group. And that's all fine, Ganesh. Nice meeting you. And now I don't travel much these days. In fact, my niece is also asking me to come out to come over to BR Hills to your place, but I have not been. I didn't get the right chance to go there. And on a very personal note, Ganesh, I still remember. I can never forget. The help you gave me in securing my morning QTH work, job at my morning QTH. I think you played a very important role that I can never forget, Ganesh. Maybe you might have forgotten, but I don't. I will never. So thanks a lot, Ganesh, for all that. And I'm quite happy settled down in Banshankari 6th stage near Thuraldi Forest. And as you know, I'm staying in a apartment, so where they don't allow us to put external antennas, and they give a lot of difficulty. Some obstacles. They don't put a wire here. Don't put. They make it almost impossible for you to put it. So that's why I just check into the 2-meter nets once in a way. So that's the activity here. Although I have all my equipment, everything is ready, and ham is ready. I have my keys are ready. I just keep sending CW only to myself. So that's how I am spending my time here, Ganesh. And I'm not able to attend the BRC meetings also in person. So that's the story from my end. Won't keep it long. Back to you, there, moderator. Go ahead.
Roger. Fine, Hari. You have a lot of nice to hear all your experiences. And welcome once again there, Hari. Do stand by. Tango Sugar, all yours.
Okay. Thank you, Hari. Yeah, thank you, Hari, for remembering the old days, and it certainly was very nice those days. Then let me continue about how it operates. As I said, almost all of us were on CW because building AM set was difficult those days. Building a CW set was very easy. Building a CW equipment was very easy, but building an AM rig was a little bit of an expert job, so we never thought of it. Only one or two of us. I think Jam had an AM rig, and I don't know who else. Subbu, there was a Subbu. We used to Foxtrot. I wonder if any of you know him, over?
Roger.
Okay,
A silent key now.
He used to have a homebrew AM rig, and a couple of others had, but otherwise most of us had only CW rigs. Okay, And there was no paddle, there was no gear and all those days. The only key we know is the straight key those days. And with that, we used to fire off, fairly good speed those days, even on a straight key, and for about 15 words and all comfortable for QSOs on the band, especially DX and all that. So the phone nets and all came only in 70s, mid 70s or so. On the BRC net we had the BRC net going very strong. It used to be on 7080. You can see all this in my blog. I don't have the link right now, but I'm sure you can search for it. VU2TS blog. And, all the story is there about the BRC, how it was in the olden days, and there used to be quite strict. The WPC used to be quite strict. And let me tell you, I remember a couple of things about WPC which might bring a laugh in your face. Okay. Now, I used to use my phonetics when I came on phone those days. I used to say Tango Sierra most of the time, and some people used to call me Tango Sugar. So I got into that habit, and I called myself. I used the Tango Sugar phonetics a couple of times on phone. Believe it or not, I got a letter from the WPC saying that I was using a wrong phonetic and not the approved phonetic. The Tango Sugar is not approved phonetic. I must say only Tango Sierra. Can you believe WPC taking action on such things these days? So that was the kind of WPC strict rules we had. Or maybe the officers were so strict those days. And then one day I got a notice. I was very, what should I say, very comfortable operating on the lowest part of the HCW band, on all bands. On 40, I'm usually on 7005. If possible, 7003, but usually on 7005, 14005, 21005, etc. Sometimes when that part is occupied, I go a little lower down, like 3 or 2 and all that. So I might have been operating one day for a long time on 7002, working a lot of DX. I got a QSL from the WPC after a week or so saying that we heard you operating off the band, off the amateur band. You're operating lower than the 14 MC allotted band, etc. So I had to write back to them, sir, it's not possible because my set doesn't go below 1400. So this way I'm on 1400. If you have a 100 kc bandwidth or whatever, I'm not 100, I'm sorry. If you have a 1 megahertz bandwidth, you will definitely hear me lower than 14. So I'm so sorry that on my receiver, I'm definitely not below 14, and so on and so forth. I gave them the argument, and that cleared the matter. Now, the point is, they were monitoring us so keenly that we used to get all these, we used to call it a pink ticket, a pink slip, I'm sorry. We used to call it a pink slip. And so that's as far as the ARSI, I'm very sorry, that WPC was concerned. And so I think that's about all. I don't think I have anything more to share. Unless there are some questions, then I can remember what to say. So I'll pass it back to the moderator. I'm sorry. Before that, I was telling you about CW. We never had any tariffs and all that. I wonder how many of you have seen a bug key. That was the fastest key those days. We used to call it a bug key because the company had a bug as their logo. Actual bug, bed bug as their logo. If you Google bug key, then you can see the picture and all that. In case you haven't seen one, it's about like this. It's like this. This is the bug key. I hope you can see. Yeah, and it's a semi-automatic key. One side goes did automatically, but the other side is only da. So that you have to operate by your finger. The DDDD is automatic. So that used to give us a slightly higher speed, like up to 20 words, 25 words and all that. I used the bug for a long time, maybe 2 years or 3 years I used the bug. By then we had the electronic keyer coming in. We started building our own keyers and, things were different afterwards. So that's about that. I wonder if V2 Sierra Foxtrot is on here. We're also one of the old timers. I can't think of anyone else who may be on frequency just now. But if there is any old timer who was with us in the BRC, please put them on, and they can also share some information with me. Back to you, V2GRN, over.
Roger. Find the Ganesh interesting. Welcome, Manoj, to Whiskey Alpha Papa. Manoj, welcome to you. And Ganesh, you can share your information about the time signal, which the NIS used to have in Delhi, and the tape recorder affair, Ganesh. That's a point which I want you to tell all the newcomers there, Ganesh. And you have any other questions? Anybody, please type in, or please come up. Please come in. Whiskey Alpha Papa, you're there.
Yes, good morning to you and the moderator, and good morning to everybody. Good morning to Ganesh. I hope Ganesh remembers me. Over.
Yeah, Miku. Very good morning, Miku. I haven't heard you for a long time. Go ahead, Miku.
Yes, it's nice to meet up with you, and you're my guru. You're my guru in amateur radio.
And welcome to Miku also there. Ganesh, Miku comes to the BRC meeting very often. I mean, more often these days. And I think he lives very close by, so it's very convenient. So thanks to Miku for joining us also today. Okay, Ganesh, all yours about the tape recorder story. Ganesh, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Fine, Miku. Good to hear you after a very, very long time. Very long time, Miku. I'm glad that you are there and you're active in BRC.
Thank you, Ganesh. Thank you
The
very
time
much.
signal. You all know about the time signal that comes on 5 megahertz, then 10 megahertz, then 15 megahertz, and 25 megahertz, I think. And all these frequencies, we have a time signal going. The Indian time signal, the station of the Indian time signal is on 10 megahertz, 10,0,0,0,0. And in case if you can tune your receivers, you can hear that beep, beep, beep. It will go on ticking of the clock, atomic clock or whatever. And we used to normally check out the time signal those days for synchronizing our watch, clocks, once in a way. Especially myself, I used to get on the band at 8 o'clock for the net, in the morning net on SSB on 40 meter. So I used to check the time signal and just to make sure that I'm promptly on 8 o'clock. And one day I did that. At 8 o'clock, I checked it. It used to show 7:45. The time signal was 8 o'clock, but my clock showed 7:45. I said something is wrong with my watch clock and all that. So I tried again. Then I had another clock at home. And they all showed 7:45. So I thought something was funny. Anyway, I got on the band and it put out the CQ and somebody came. I think VU2 KOC, Kilo Oscar Charlie, that is old man Om Prakash. He answered me. I still remember very well. He answered me. I said, Om Prakash, I have a small problem. Can you check the time for me, please? What is the correct time now? He said it's 8 o'clock. So again, I checked the time signal. It was 7:50 or something. It was 8:10 on our watch. I made a note of that and let it go at that, and then continued the net and everything was finished. I went to my morning QTH and typed out a letter to the National Physical Laboratory where the time signal is, the transmitter is kept, NPL. So I wrote to the director. I think this morning I was checking out the time, sir, and it was 7:45 and the time was actually 8 o'clock. So what's going on? You're supposed to be so accurate. The whole country follows your time. And, even aircraft and ships and all that, they use your time signal as far as they're in the country. So what's going on? I just wrote a letter. After a few days, I got a reply saying that, Ganesh, you were quite right. I'm extremely sorry it was that way on that day. Thank you for pointing it out. What is happening is we are understaffed, and so there is no one to adjust the tape recorder, and the tape recorder got elongated after so long. Can you believe somebody telling me that the tape of the tape recorder has elongated by 15 minutes, and so you're getting 15 minutes slower. So that was unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. I didn't reply to that letter. I just kept quiet. So I said that was the condition as far as the so important time signal of the country was concerned. HI. Go ahead, Ram.
Roger, QSL. Fine, Ganesh. I also remember you're talking about Ham, who was in W Land or somewhere looking after the farm, and you asked him something about it, and he said finally he uses horses to go across, and sometime some other big farm where he had to fly across, and all you were telling. A lot of incidents there. Okay, anybody else have anything to say? Or welcome, please. Anybody else have anything to say? It's now 10:49. And we've had a nice session with Ganesh.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Ram, Hari here. Actually, when Ganesh was talking about this pink letters, in fact, one pink letter was uh, issued to Saif. It's all almost because of me. And I really felt bad because when I was still in SWL, I had gone to his QTH, and he generously offered me. He said, "I'll go for a bath. You be on online." So I was talking, and like a fool, I was telling on the band that I'm an SWL, and Saif is going to come back, and I'm operating this rig. That conversation was picked up by the WPC, and promptly within 1 week, Saif got a letter there saying objecting to this. So that was one occasion. That in those days, I think this WPC was very keen on monitoring the ham conversation. Maybe they didn't have anything else, or I don't know. I'm not very sure. I mean, I don't want to degrade them. But I have visited those their place. They had no doubt they have got very good equipment, but I think it was a Sunday, so they had not much of a other government. Stations to monitor. So that's why they are listening out to the ham radio, ham bands. So that was on occasion there, Ganesh. So back to you, Ram, Hari here.
VU2 MUD.
I'll take it.
Go ahead, Madhu.
Okay, there is a query that's come up on YouTube. Old man Raghavendra, VU3 Juliet X-ray Kilo, is wanting to know if any nets were being conducted in the old days. When did the net activity start in India, Ganesh? Right?
Yeah, okay. The first net started in 1969, no, 69, 70, around 70, 69 or 70. The first ham net, it was on 7080 on SSB, but many people used to check in on CW also, because as I said earlier, most of the stations were on CW now. But there were quite a few SSB stations already. People used to go to Singapore, they used to bring back equipment. Import was not permitted. But they have to bring back equipment for the duty and, stuff like that. And some people got it through their relatives in the abroad or whatever. So 7080 SSB was the first net organized. And it's now called Charminar net. It used to be called ARSI net those days. And so that's the first net. And then we had a 3W net that was on 7005, I think, 7005. That didn't run for long because there were not many takers. So that's it. Then we had, of course, VHF nets and all, but not exactly VRC. That's generally in good hands. So back to you, Madhu.
Yeah, QSL. Ganesh, thanks for that. Ganesh, a word about the net you conduct every day these days. Since when you started, how are the check-ins and other things, Ganesh? Present net.
Yeah, you pass it to me.
Yeah. See, you're conducting the CW net every day on 7015. A word about it, Ganesh.
Okay. The CW net on 7015 is right now going on. It was started by old man Rajan, VU2RGN, I think. Also VU2RGN, yeah, correct. Rajan. And he wasn't well. So the net was not on for a while. So I took interest and I found out that he wasn't well. So he passed it on to me. And I've been running it for the past 5 years now. I think about 5 years now. And we have about 100 members or so, 120 members or so. But check-ins are low. The check-ins only about 20 max. I think max we have 24 check-ins so far on a certain day. But the average check-in comes down to about 15 per day. It runs on 7015. It begins at 7:30 in the morning. And if check-ins are there, I can go on till 8:30. Otherwise, it will be wound up by about 8 or 8:15. I'm being helped by two other hands. One is the ABU Abai. He takes up the net sometimes, and the other one is VU2 come on now. Gopi is the call sign. Whatever the call sign is, I can't remember just now. If I'm operating the key, I remember the call sign. But mentally, I'm not able to remember the call sign, okay? So there you are, Ram. Go ahead, Ram.
Raj, fine. Yeah, okay, good. Fine to know that, Ganesh. And everybody remember that if you send it very fast, or Ganesh will tune himself and reply you at the speed you're sending. So an SW or any newcomer is always need not be worried that he's going to be fast or so. So that's about it. Okay, now do we have anybody else to check in, or any comments or any memories to be shared? Please come in.
Gopi is VU3 uniform whiskey Papa Ganesh.
Roger. Uniform Whiskey Papa. Noted there.
Roger,
QSL.
Roger. Uniform to Papa, fine.
Okay.
Actually, Abhay
Anybody
is
else?
on frequency.
Abhay, yeah, Abhay is there. Thanks, Abhay, for joining us on the YouTube. If you're
Yeah, you
there,
can pass it to Abhay for a couple of words.
yeah, go ahead, Abhay.
Abhay is only on YouTube. He cannot come back on voice.
Yeah, Roger, fine. Okay, fine there, Abhay. Greetings to you from all the members on the BRC net group going on just now. And keep up the good job of assisting Ganesh on the CW net there. Romeo, Papa, Sira, Ramesh, Rajesh, you there? Not heard. One of the regular check-ins there. Okay. Anybody else? Anything else before we call it a day?
Ram,
Ram, RPS
absolutely.
is there.
I saw Rajesh, therefore I
Yeah,
requested him to come up. RPS, you're there, Rajesh?
That's Roger.
Yeah, go ahead, Rajesh. Have a few words with Ganesh about the CW net, or all of us there. Go ahead, Rajesh.
Okay. Do you copy me now?
Roger.
Okay, thank you so
Rajesh,
much. Good morning to
Rajesh,
everybody. Yes,
Rajesh,
Ganesh, tell
break,
me.
break. Rajesh, you were also a member of the BRC in those days, I remember. So you can also put in a
Absolutely,
few words about BRC. No?
absolutely, Ganesh. You were my first QSO on the new rig which I got of TS 130. The day I got the rig, I plugged in the antenna, and yours was the first call that I made to you during the net, and we had a QSO. So I distinctly remember the first QSO that we had, and it was absolutely fantastic. And I do recollect also one of those days when I was attending the Himalayan rally with Pop and the whole gang. We were at Nainital, and WPC had given us a specific frequency to operate. And one morning, I operated on that, and we were operating on that frequency. And incidentally, then it so happened that we were free for quite some time. And I had scheduled with my ex-wife that we'll meet on 70, another frequency on the downside, on the ham band. And as per schedule, we did have a QSO. So after returning back from Nainital, I got a nice big letter from WPC stating that I was wrongly using the frequency for the talk. I did not realize that I didn't see anything wrong for me to go back to my ham frequency and having a word with the ex-wife. But it so happened those days we were not allowed to operate on any station on ham frequency from another different location. So that's the reason he had given me a pink letter. So this was one of the pink letters that I had received. There were a couple of more, but they were not very significant. So back it comes to you, Ram, GRM, RPS, over.
Roger. QSL. VU2TRU, Trusha. Okay, QSL, Rajesh. And fine. Anybody else before we wind up? USQ, Shuswami, please come in.
Thank you, Ram. Good morning, Ganesh. Namaskara, Ganesh. This is VU2USQ, handle Shashi. My question is regarding the challenges you faced back then with home brewing, because it's something it's very difficult to imagine nowadays. Because nowadays, of course, information and equipment, they're available very easily. But back then, what were your main sources for information related to home brewing, and also the challenges you face with respect to the equipment. This would be something very interesting for us to hear. Thank you, Ganesh.
Did you get that,
Can I go
Ganesh?
ahead now?
He was
Can I go ahead now?
asking. Yeah, you go ahead. You got the question, or you want me to
Ram,
repeat
can I
it
go
for you?
ahead?
Please go ahead, Ganesh.
Shall I type it?
Go ahead, Ganesh.
Hello, good morning, good morning. Yes, come.
VU2.
Okay. Good morning, Shashi. Come. You to USQ, you said.
Thank you.
Good morning and nice to meet you, Shashi. That's a good question that you asked me, because it might be of great interest to all of you there. We used to buy all our components for building the transmitter, receiver, whatever. Not much of a receiver. Mostly transmitters are built, the receivers are completely purchased off the military surplus and all. Military surplus receivers. Some of them needed light repairs and all that, but otherwise receivers are okay. Transmitters we used to build ourselves. Components were got off from Majestic. Nowadays you go to a electronic shop and all that. Those days we used to go to Majestic on the footpath, on the pavements and all that. We used to have a lot of shops open, all junk shops. So we had to go and look around there and sort through all the junk and all, buy some take some one piece and ask him how much. Instead of 5 rupees, ask for 2 rupees. Then bargain with him and all that, buy for 3 rupees. That kind of stuff. Capacitors and I can't mention anything specific, but almost everything you wanted as far as radio is concerned used to be available there on the footpath. Not one shop. There'd be about 50, 60 shops lined up, right from Majestic Circle up to about Prabhat Theatre. I'm sure you know Bangalore quite well. So right up to Prabhat, you walk around. In fact, those days, if you want to meet an active ham, all you do is go on a Sunday to Majestic and you'll see him knocking around there in the shop looking for stuff. Even headphones and all that to buy only from there. No new headphones are available. And the key, for instance, and everything else. So we used to buy that. Now, one interesting thing I want to tell you, most of us find it difficult to build a VFO, to operate on 40 meters. When you build a VFO, it used to drift like mad, When you used to tune on one frequency and then say hello, it is on another frequency of the VFO. So we said, why not use crystals? So we got crystals from somewhere here and there, especially from the footpath. And we never got crystals exactly on our frequency. Between 7 and 7.1, we never used to get crystals. So we used to get crystals from 3.5 quite commonly, fairly large crystals there. There were. So we used to get crystals from 3.7, 3.9 and so forth. What we do is, we used to buy the crystals, open it up and carefully pull out the quartz crystal and grind it to make it thinner to come to our frequency. Can you believe that? We used to do all that. We used to call it crystal grinding. It's a big operation. A couple of people joined together. We used to get some extra fine blades in them and a fine smooth steel plate on which we put the crystal slowly with a thumb or with a forefinger, hold it in our hand and then grind it like that. Slowly grind it like that. And then check the frequency again, put it inside the crystal plug, and check it again. And slowly the frequency used to drift down lower and lower until we get up to 7005 or something, and then we will leave it there. Very thin crystal, mind you, almost like a wafer it used to be. So we have brought, but then they're so cheap, about $5. We used to buy a crystal for $5. So there you are. New crystal will cost you those days about $100. I think too expensive. So there you are, Shashi. I hope you got what you wanted there.
Thank
Be
you.
to you, XQ, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Ganesh. It was very interesting to listen to you, and it was it's very informative. Thank you.
Okay. We are missing RQ, who would have shared a lot of other things. And if I remember, we used to use Colgate toothpaste to grind the crystals. To Colgate toothpaste used to contain chloride in it, and we used to use that to grind the crystals. So that's about it. Anybody else? Any queries? Any questions? Please come in.
VU2 Alpha Delta Victor. Jacob is conveying his regards to you, Ganesh, and he says he remembers the first FT411E that you gave him.
Fine there. Say hi to Jacob.
And VU2 Romeo uniform, Mike Ram says he'll be seeing you. Bye.
Yeah. Hi, Ram. Good to hear that. Good.
Okay. So fine there. Yeah. Hi to Jacob. Hi to Rom, and all others there. Okay. Anybody else? Any other queries, questions before we wind up? Yankee Victor Kilo. Anything to add, Vijeta? Yankee Victor Kilo. Last and final call. Anybody has anything to share? Please come up. Okay. So fine.
Ram?
Yeah, Ganesh.
I thought there would be a lot of questions, because the whole time out, but there were not many, so it's okay.
Well, I have one for you, Ganesh. When did the actual transition from general CW and voice communications and digital communications actually become popular, Ganesh? Right?
You mean voice to digital?
Digital modes.
Yeah. Okay. I can tell you about that. Quite interesting as well. I think the first digital mode that we came to know about was AX25. I'm sure you know that now. That particular what's it known as store and forward.
Packet radio.
I'm so sorry. Becoming forgetful nowadays. So that was there, and we never had computers those days. And suddenly we came to know there was an old man, BRK, Ramsam, old man. He came and told us one day on the VHF.net that there are computers available from the customs department, and we can all buy one and some 8,000 rupees or something. I don't know. Don't remember the word now. That was the Commodore 84 now those days. And we bought those computers for operating on digital. It had a cassette drive. Instead of a floppy or a CD, it had a cassette. And we used to load the information on that. I think the internet capacity was 100K or something like that, whatever. So we used to use that, and we used it for a while. And then slowly we got better computers and all that. So that was the first step that we took to get on digital mode. That was, I'm not very sure when it was here. Maybe around 1980, 82, in that region there, Madhu. Go ahead, Madhu.
Yeah, QSL. I remember those big keyboard units that was being used, Ganesh. To add to the list of people who are greeting you through YouTube, Manorita, VU2 Bike Golf Sierra says, good to hear you, Ganesh. And she says, first year so was with you in 1993 with my NCX 3 tune rig, QSL, Ganesh.
Yeah, Roger. Very good morning to you, Manorita. Good to hear you. That you were there on frequency as well. I'm glad to be the first person there. Very nice to hear you.
VU2 CHR, he shares his experience on CW. He got his ticket in 1989 and first contacts with VU2 Juliet Oscar Sierra and VU2 November India Sierra with a 1 watt QRP radio. The RX was picked up from SP Road with a BFO for receiving CW and SSB on 40 meter band. So those are the days when we are using these kind of techniques in the mid 80s before we got any of the other commercial radios on hand, Ganesh, right?
Yeah, Roger. I had a collection. I had a BC248. I had a HRO and Halitrash. HS, I forget the model number, small one. So I had these three, but all lost now. Go ahead, Madhu.
Okay, QSL Ganesh. Yeah, those are the helicopters, which are the huge ones that I'd seen. I think once in one of the meets, they were really huge and needed 4 people to carry around. Ganesh. Go ahead,
Okay,
Ram.
Rajesh has something to say. Go ahead, Rajesh. VU2 RPS.
Roger, you copy me? Hello.
Roger.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, Ganesh was mentioning those places where junk we used to buy. on BV Kangar Road, the corner, Vijayalakshmi Theatre corner building, where the gentleman, an old gentleman, would come with a lot of gear, where I recollect, it's the junction of BV Kangar Road and Chickpet Cross. And all of us, as Ganesh rightly said, that most of the active hams would be seen there on Sunday morning picking up junk. And, the whole week we used to crave for Sunday to come so that we can go there and pick up some stuff. And that is how I picked up one of the keys that I still have and I still use. And a lot of tools which I've picked up those days are still with me and I still keep using them. They all must have been bought. Some of these nose pliers and all, I must have bought it for what, $5 or so, but they're still doing good as such. It was absolutely fantastic in those days, Ram. And we used to crave to go to Ganesh's place to see that SSB rig of his, the Drake. I think so, it was the Drake. I'm not very sure what it was, but look forward every time that let's go see Ganesh's commercial rig. And it was an awesome thing those days. And that is how the dream started of getting one more SSB rig into the shack, and that's how the whole thing went. Go ahead, Madhu.
YBK. This.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Vijay.
okay. 1 minute, Vijay. Ganesh, your blogspot link has been shared both here on Jitsi in the chat and on YouTube. So people who are interested in going into the history of ham radio and what Ganesh had to say about ham radio, the link is was set. If anybody wants, we will share it again there. Go ahead, Vijay.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Tango Sarah, YBK here. One question, Ganesh. How this ham radio bug catch you? When you started, when you came to know about the ham radio? At which year? Go ahead, Tango Sarah.
Okay. YBK. Very good morning to you. And it's a long story how I got into ham radio, but I'll tell you briefly how I got into ham radio. I got the information about ham radio from a magazine, Popular Science magazine. My father used to subscribe to Popular Science and other magazines, So just going through that one day, and I must have been, say, around, I don't know, 15, 16 years old. I'm not very sure how old I was. And then I saw a page there. Common citizens talk to each other all over the world, free of cost or whatever, something on that basis. That got me interested. And then I found out that there are people in the US who build their own equipment, transmitter and receiver, and then they talk to people all over the world on a friendly basis. That's a good hobby and so forth. It also gave some information on the Q code. It gave information on ham jargon generally, how different things in ham radio is known as in ham radio jargon. So I went through all that and I got interested, and from then on, I started going behind everybody. Whoever is connected in any way with radio, I used to ask me, do you know about ham radio? I want to become a ham and all that. And I got answered, no, we don't know. So I went to talk to people like, for instance, the Postmaster General in Bangalore, because radio licenses were given by Postmaster. So I went to the Postmaster in Bangalore, GPO, asked her, there was a lady at that time, asked her, can I get a ham license? She said, no, it's illegal. You cannot transmit, you go home and all that. So now, the whole story of how I became a ham is available on QSO Today. I don't know if you heard of this website, QSO Today. You Google QSO Today and VU2TS, and you'll get my talk on how I became a ham. It's a long talk. I think it goes for about half an hour or so. So you get the full story. I'm sure we got it okay. Go ahead there, YBK.
Raja. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's the same story with me also, because I was staying in a small city and I used to buy science magazine there. It used to come an H-wheeler railway station. I go there and buy there. From there also I started knowing all this ham radio stuff. Article used to come. After that, I went to go to one of my friend's house in 1965. His father used to build radio receivers. valve radio receivers. He used to get the items from Calcutta and used to build. From there, I got interested. And anyhow, shortwave listening was there. Transistor came, valve radio was there, and Japanese transistor came, then listening BCS, BCDX, and other things. Thank you, TS. Nice talk. And I will go through this QSO today. I will look through it. Thank you. Go ahead, Ram.
Link has been shared in the chat of both Jitsi and YouTube.
Raj, fine, Madhu.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Now it's 11:14, 11:14 QSL. Any further questions, any further queries, please come in. You to GRM listening. Okay, nothing heard. Okay, I take this opportunity to thank Ganesh for him to have accepted and joined us for this webinar today. And I thank Madhu for enabling the YouTube link. And thanks, Madhu, for putting it into the BRC folder of ARSI website for a future reference. Anybody is interested. Thank all the people, Hari Rao and Niku and all the hams who are listening here. We are on a peak. We had 30 stations who are listening to us. I hope I'm right. So with this, I thank each one of you personally for having attended the meeting today and made it a memorable one. Thank you very much. And 73 is all round. We are GRM declaring this free for general traffic as usual. Go ahead, please.
23 on YouTube, Ram.
Ram, Madhu, wish to thank ARSI, especially representing ARSI VU2 MUD for arranging the YouTube streaming and putting this entire conversation with VU2TS on YouTube for future reference for all the generations to come. Thank you very much, Madhu. Thank you, Ganesh, for being part of this interesting conversation. And thanks all for participating. Back to you, Ram.
QSL. Bopanna, anything to say?
No, it was a very interesting session. I think I would like to thank Bach and ARSI and also the speaker of the day, Ganesh, for sharing his valuable experiences over the years, over the decades. Yeah, I still see him because when I was doing my engineering, of course, I used to stay on West of Cod Road. Now very close to, I think, close to Modi Hospital. Then I used to see him in his blue gypsy with a quarter wave antenna, with a typical frame and drive past. So I always used to wonder. That was my memory going back those days when I was doing my engineering way back in early 80s there. And that's about it. It's nice pleasure. We wish him good health and all of you have a great weekend there. 73 and see you all later. Bye-bye.
QSL Bopanna. Madhu, go ahead, Madhu.
Okay. Thank you, Ram. Thank you, Ganesh. Thanks, everybody else. Yes, when we saw this link come up saying that it's going to be a virtual meet, so ARSI thought, one of the objectives of ARSI is to support the activities of our institutional members and also put on record and rather save the activity for future reference at a single point. So our YouTube channel was created a couple of months back for the ARSI webinar series, which we are trying to have on a periodic basis. And we then decided to have a playlist for all our institutional members and for any other members who would like to share their amateur radio related videos and YouTube activity. We can have a playlist in their name so that it'll the ARSI webinar YouTube channel will work as a one place reference point for various technology or activity, anything else related to amateur radio. We could find all this information at one point. So it was a pleasure hosting this session. We hope many more activities will come up from all our institutional members so that we can build up the information base on the ARSI webinar YouTube channel there. 73 Ram, 73 all will stand by. Go ahead, Ram.
Raj, fine. Okay, I see Lima uniform. Stand by, Ramesh. Thanks for joining us. OID, Sajish, please go ahead.
Yeah, hope you can hear me.
QSL.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So just glad to hear TS on voice. Usually we hear on CW only. Very nice to hear you. And it's a real inspiration for being on CW net regularly. His way of reacting back to us and all with the solo speed and everything. So unfortunately, I'm not able to pick up any other uncommon words other than the usual CW conversations, but still, it is a real inspiration. Thank you, TS. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sajish, for sharing your views on this. Lima uniform. Good morning, Ramesh. Thanks for making all things happen. Go ahead, Ramesh. VU2LU, I saw you briefly. Please come in, Ramesh. Okay, I don't see him. Okay, on behalf of all of us, I thank ARSI for hosting for making a YouTube out of it, and all the other members for joining us this day there. So once again, a big 73s to everybody. Thank you, Ganesh. All of us wish you good health and happiness. Good hamming also there. 73s, bye-bye all round.
Okay, 73 to all of you. It was great pleasure. That is mine. So we'll catch up with you again one of these days. Bye.
Bye-bye all round.
Bye, Ram.
Bye all. 73s.
YouTube streaming has been stopped.